environment, security, economics, and also efficiency. Nuclear technology can be used by power plants in order to produce electricity, and this factor becomes very important currently because of the high oil prices. And a nuclear plant can produce more energy and electricity than hydroelectric plant. Isotopes produced used in nuclear technology used in many chemical and pharma companies. Nuclear power is very competitive with other energy sources in respect to the cost, and except for the case of low-cost fossil fuels. And fuel cost for nuclear plants is taking a very small share at the total cost, but at the same time the capital cost of the nuclear power plant is very big. And also during the calculation of the fuel cost, the expenses on waste disposal were included, and but at the same time we should take into the account that even with the additional cost related to the waste disposal, the nuclear energy is very efficient, and it can compete with fossil fuels. And because if we will add the cost related to the social, health, and environmental degradation to the cost of fossil fuels, we will see that the nuclear fuel cost is very small in comparison with another sources of energy. And however, uranium has, in order to be used, has to be enriched and fabricated into fuel elements, and about 2/3 of this cost is related to the enrichment and fabrication. And but even with this included additional cost to the nuclear power plant, the typical cost of the nuclear power is equal to 1/3 of the power plant which use the coal, and also equal to about 1/4 of the cost of the power plant which uses gas. And fuel cost is one of the areas with increasing efficiency and cost reduction. For instance, in Spain, during the last 10 years, nuclear electricity cost was reduced by 29%, and this was caused by boosting enrichment levels and burn up to achieve 40% fuel cost reduction. And in the future, we can see that the further 8% increase in burn up will give another 5% of reduction in the fuel cost.
Nuclear energy have many advantages, but I just focus on advantage of nuclear energy for environment. Nuclear energy protect our environment. Nuclear energy produce no greenhouse gases that lead to global warming. Fossil fuels like coal and oil release into the atmosphere significant quantity of carbon dioxide, one of the main gases responsible for the greenhouse effect. And the use of fossil fuels in the generation of electricity is also contributing to the worsening this situation. Like solar energy, wind energy, and hydro energy, nuclear energy are source of emission-free electricity. Nuclear energy generates more than 70% of all carbon-free electricity in America, and is an essential part of the technology-based solution for reducing greenhouse gases. Also, unlike wind energy or solar energy, nuclear energy can produce electricity at any time, regardless of meteorological conditions. And the nuclear power plant already play a powerful role in preventing greenhouse gases in the electricity by using nuclear energy rather than fossil fuel-based plant. Electric utility prevent 681 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emission, according to the 2006 statistics. That is, nuclear energy is the only option available today. Can provide large-scale electricity production economically without hurting our environment. And next, Mr. Zhang shows the advantage of cost effectiveness, energy effectiveness.
Then we have another advantage of nuclear power. It has a higher energy efficiency than its competitor, including oil, coal, and solar power. According to the statistics of the Nuclear Energy Institute, a single kilogram of uranium can produce more energy than 200 barrels of oil, and 1 pound of uranium produces 20,000 times more energy than 1 pound of coal. In addition, the amount of energy generated in 1/4 of the core of a nuclear reactor requires 2.5 acres of solar cells. Furthermore, uranium is an extremely dense source of energy, and the volume of waste is therefore small. So, a nuclear power plant generates radioactive waste the size of 1 aspirin tablet per person per year. Particularly, even spent fuel can be reprocessed to make a new fuel and reduce the ultimate volume of waste by more than 60%. The interdisciplinary MIT report in 2003 also strongly recommended the nuclear energy as the future energy resources. Nuclear power is opposed by those with good intentions, but a poor understanding of the risks and the benefits of modern nuclear power. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of California, emphasized the great potential of nuclear energy at the Wall Street Journal Economic Conference in March this year as follows. Sorry, I have to mimic his voice. I think nuclear power has a great future, and I think we should look at it seriously again. I know there are people who are scared about it, but I think technology has advanced, and now we can really look at that issue again. And rather than just looking the other way and living in denial, you don't need to scare about nuclear power. People will be clear about it.
Thank you. I will talk about the technology. Technology has been advanced much for the safety. Firstly, nuclear fields are protected with 5 layers. And first layer is this one, inside here. This one is inert pellet. There is nuclear fuel within this pellet that made from inert uranium. So this can be this person can have this pellet. And the next layer is fuel rod. It's this one. And this one is made from tight zirconium alloy. And the third layer is nuclear reactor pressure vessel that made from 15 centimeter iron steel. Fourth layer is containment vessel that this one is made from 3 meters concrete wall or iron steel wall. And last layer is this. This covered the whole reactor made with very thick concrete. So these 5 layers prevent radioactive goes out from the plant. And then secondary, there are many automatically system assist labor if problem occurred. For example, cooling water is very important for the nuclear plant because it prevents the reactor become high temperature. So if the cooling water level decrease,
circuit, the alarm will be sound and control rod will automatically insert it in the reactor that can automatically insert inside and to stop nuclear reaction. So this new control rod is made from cadmium and boron to easily absorb the